Tonight, the 12 News I-Team is investigating Arizona's mental health care system.
There are so many families who believe more people will continue to get hurt if something doesn't change and people with mental health issues are recklessly released.
To find out what's going on and how things could change, here's Team 12's Bianca Bona.
Every day we report on crimes in our community, some of them more shocking and violent than others. We've analyzed dozens of those reports from the past couple of years and found too many involve a person with a documented history of mental illness. Now we're asking the question, were they recklessly released? Every time it happens, it's like throwing a lit match into the street. Sometimes it burns out, but sometimes it bursts into flames.
And that's exactly what happened with my brother. My brother, Darren, is the individual that burned down the 1 in 10 Youth Community Center in downtown Phoenix.
In July of 2017, Summer's brother, Darren Beach, walked into 1 in 10 in Phoenix, an LGBTQ youth center. In surveillance video, he's caught dousing the floor with gasoline and sets the building on fire. Summer said she asked him why he did it.
He believed that the building itself was killing his grandmother. And his grandmother has been deceased for many, many, many years. I knew something was wrong. I knew my brother was sick.
As charges were filed, Summer started digging, combing through her brother's medical history. What she found leads her to believe this devastating fire could have and should have been prevented. He's bipolar and designated by the state as seriously mentally ill.
They get discharged back to the streets, and the vicious cycle just continues.
Darren Beach's story is not unique. Michael Paul Adams, charged in the slaying of 17-year-old Elijah Alameen. Police say the attack was because the teen was listening to rap music. Adams has a documented history of mental illness. He was released from jail just 2 days before the murder.
You took my son for what reason? And because you have mental issues, that gives you the right to hurt somebody.
Matthew Rasmussen.
I want to make this okay for you. I want to get you some help.
Shot and killed by Glendale police outside a Taco Bell. Just months before the deadly shooting, a judge deemed Rasmussen not competent, saying without immediate and continued hospitalization, he could hurt himself or others. Desiree Ortiz, accused of trying to steal a baby right out of a stranger's arms. Her family points to Arizona's 72-hour mental health evaluation window.
Keep them longer than the 72-hour revolving door that they always seem to just do. They get her medicated and they kick her out the door.
Case after case, 12 News finds court records of suspects with documented mental illness released to the streets. Tragedy strikes despite these warnings. For Summer, the reality strikes too close to home. More than a year before the arson, medical records show Darren was receiving treatment where he reportedly said, "If they send me to Cass, I'm going to use again and I'll end up killing myself." Days later, documents show Darren was discharged directly to the homeless shelter.
They couldn't even give him a ride to the shelter. They had him transport himself.
To have someone with known mental illness being released to a homeless shelter is a serious resource problem.
There are more than 41,000 Arizonans with a serious mental illness. Lisa Glow, the CEO of Cass, says at least 40% of people coming into the homeless shelter are dealing with an SMI.
We don't have enough appropriate treatment centers for someone to be released to.
Summer says there are no long-term treatment options for people like her brother and the thousands of others in his shoes.
He's sick and he needs help. And that's my biggest thing that I want people to understand. These individuals are sick. They didn't choose this. Nobody would choose this.
This week on 12 News, we'll take you inside one of the Valley's mental health facilities and show you what some advocates say can help solve this mental health crisis. Bianca Bono, 12 News.